Hello everyone, this is Professor Shamal Patil. In today's class, we are going to learn about the steps in financial statement analysis. Before I start, what are the steps are there in financial statement analysis? Let us revise what we have studied in previous class. Okay? In previous class, we studied about the types of financial statements, right? So these are the types of financial statements analysis. There are two classification of financial statement analysis, and this classification is done on the basis of materials used and on the basis of methods of operations or modes of operandi. Okay, the first types of financial statement analysis is classification on the basis of materials used. In that we have external analysis and internal analysis. First one is external analysis. Analysis done by external parties, such as here you can see creditors, investors, creditors, bankers, credit agencies, etc. on the basis of financial statement published by the company is called as external analysis. Second one is internal analysis, that is analysis done by internal parties such as board of management or the employees of an organization will be considered as external parties, and analysis done by these parties is called as internal analysis. Here they can access the books of account and any other financial information they need for financial statement analysis. They can access those information and they can do the financial statement analysis, and such analysis is called as internal analysis. Next one is classification on the basis of modes of operandi or methods of operations. In that, first one we have is horizontal analysis. Horizontal analysis means analysis for number of years is called as horizontal analysis. The example of horizontal analysis are comparative financial statement and trend analysis. Second one is vertical analysis. Analysis of financial data for one single year is called as vertical analysis, and this analysis is also called as static analysis. Example of vertical analysis is common size statement and ratio analysis. So these are the two examples of vertical analysis. Now let us understand the steps in these classification, steps in financial analysis. First one is methodical classification and arrangement of data. In this step, what we do, the figures given in the financial statements are classified so as to bring homogeneous figures under one group, and then the figures are arranged properly in single column, that is in vertical form statement. After the introduction of vertical format of financial statements and financial statements, the first step is reduced, that is the work in first step have quite reduced, because earlier we had T format of financial statement, and that T format we had to convert into the vertical format. But now we prepare financial statement itself in vertical form, so there will be no much changes in the financial statement. Whatever format will be given in the problem, the same format we will be using, and we can apply the various tools and techniques. So here we can see the format of income statement. Okay, first one, name of the company, that is income statement of XYZ company or ABC company limited for the year ending. Then we have to take the first information relating to the continuous operation. Okay, in that note number 1 is revenue from operations. In revenue from operations, we will be taking the total sales minus sales revenue. Whatever total sales earned by the firm, from that we have to deduct sales returns. Whatever balance is remaining, that is called as revenue from operations. Okay. Second is, note number 2 is other income. If the firm has any other income, that is other than revenue from operations, if the firm has income such as income from house property or rent from a house property or interest received, dividend received, so all such income will be taken under the head other income. An aggregate of these two, that is note number 1 and 2, is total revenue. 1 plus 2 is total revenue. After that we have to take all the expenses. Okay, after calculation of revenue, total revenue, we have to find out the expenses. So which all expenses we have to take here? First one is cost of sales. In that, cost incurred for material consumed or cost of raw materials we have to take in note number 3. Then purchase of stock in trade in note number 4. Then changes in inventories, that is nothing but work in process or work in progress in note number 5. Then employees benefit cost, that is expenses in relation to the employees. For example, salary or salary, wages, contribution to the various funds, allowances, staff welfare scheme or expenses. So all such expenses will be taken in employees benefit cost. So the note number 7 is all about the aggregate of expenses in relation to the employees. Next one, finance cost. Finance cost include interest expenses plus borrowing cost. Then depreciation and amortization. In depreciation on total depreciation on fixed asset, that is total depreciation on fixed asset, and amortization of deferred revenue expenses. Okay, such as if there is any deferred revenue expenses of marketing, or if there is any amortization of preliminary expenses, so that we are going to take in amortization. So the note number 8 is depreciation and amortization expenses. Next one, other expenses. So other than these above expenses, if there are any expenses such as rent, then office expenses, printing and stationery, repairs of building, repairs of machinery, insurance, any other miscellaneous expenses, so all this will come in other expenses. Then we have to make the total of these expenses, and these total expenses will be deducted from total revenue, and the balance whatever will be there, that is called as profit before exceptional item and tax. That is point number 5. Roman point number 5 is nothing but profit before exceptional items and tax. That is, and how we can calculate? Take the total revenue, from that deduct the total expenses. You will get the profit before exceptional items, and from this we have to deduct exceptional items if there are any given in the problem. And after deducting exceptional items, whatever balance remain, that is called as profit before extraordinary item or extraordinary items and tax. From this we have to deduct extraordinary items. These extraordinary items are those items which do not incur ordinarily. Okay, if such income expenses are there or items are there in the problem, such items will be deducted. Whatever balance is remaining, that is profit before tax. Okay, from profit before tax we have to deduct the tax, that is current year tax, and if there is any deferred tax, that we have to deduct. After deducting the tax, whatever balance remain, that balance is nothing but profit or loss for the period of continuing operations. Okay, there will be two operations, one is continuing operations and other one is discontinuing operations. So these are the information relating to the continuing operation till point number 11. So the result of continuing operation we can find in point number 11, that is profit or loss for the period of continuing operation. Roman 9 minus 10, you will get the point Roman number 11. Okay, next one is, if the firm has any discontinuing operations, then take the information relating to the discontinuing operations, that is profit or loss from the discontinuing operations, then deduct tax expenses of discontinuing operations, will get the balance, that is profit or loss from the discontinuing operations after the tax. Okay, and after calculating this we have to calculate what total profit for the year, and this we can calculate by adding Roman number 11 plus Roman number 14, that is profit for the period of continuing operations plus profit for the period of discontinuing operations. We will get the profit or loss for the period. Understood? And this profit will be used for making the payment of dividend. With the help of this amount, we can find out earning per share, that is EPS, by equity shares and preference shares. So this is the format what we are going to use in the financial statement analysis, that is income statement of the company. I hope you have understood this format. This format you have already learned in corporate accounting in 3rd semester. The same format we will be using here. There will be no change in the format. Only the second step what we have in financial statement analysis, the application of various tools, that will be one extra calculation in the existing format. So the financial statement analysis is quite easy to understand and very important from examination point of view.